Hi, I am going to talk about launching now. So when you start a race, if you want to get off the block as soon as possible, what most people will do is they'll have one of these little launch stands. They will tilt forward, and then when they go, the idea is just to take off. You have instant forward momentum. You don't have to pop up and float back down. This allows for preloading, which means this particular stand, but all the stands do that. You sort of tilt up like this until the beeper says go, and then you go. So technique for this, generally when you launch, what we're all used to doing is you sort of pop up and then you tilt forward and go. When you're like this, you don't need that pop-up thrust, right? It's not an airplane. It's not going to stall. It doesn't need a minimum airspeed. So as soon as you have enough thrust to get yourself off this launch stand, you're going to start moving forward at the speed you want. So the key, in my opinion, to getting a smooth and fast start is to avoid that pop-up. So what that looks like on the radio, oh, that's going to fall down, good times, is that instead of this pitch forward while you boost the throttle, which is from a flat start, I would do something like this, where the throttle goes up and then comes back down again. We're going to be pitching forward to get that preload, and then as soon as the buzzer goes, you just put your throttle to your cruising position, and then you start cruising towards that first gate. If you blast it, you're going to get up, and then you're going to have to wait for the quad to come back down, or you're going to have to pitch forward and sort of do some corrective maneuver. The idea here is to not have to do that bump up. It's just to go from on the start block to forward momentum with your cruising speed, whatever that speed can be, as quickly as possible. That's pretty much it. Since I got a second more, I'm going to talk about, I don't do that. I do this, which I'm going to have to pick up the phone for. But on the plus quads, you get to launch like that. Right? This follows the multi-GP rules because if you'll note, the props are level when it's on the starting block. And then when I pitch forward, the quad only has to overcome this little balancing momentum, so it takes a lot less throttle to do that on this back motor, so that all it does is just lean forward. It can move a lot faster this way. It's a lot less likely to vibrate off the start block. I can't say it's never happened, but it's happened maybe once, and I see people vibrate off the start blocks on X quads all the time. The mechanics are going to be exactly the same, however. Tilt forward to the angle you want. I try to get the gate in view exactly like it's going to be when I go through it. And then when the timer starts, I avoid this and I try to just go from this position straight forward. And sometimes the block falls down. That's okay too. So this is short. Hopefully it's helpful. Let me know. Like most of the stuff in quad racing, right? It's just don't overcorrect. Try to go from your idle to your cruising speed without blasting too much, because every time you go too much throttle, you're going to have too much speed or too much altitude, and then you're going to have to find some way to make up for it, and that always costs you time. All right, thanks a lot. Bye.